Well, this is a mystery, isn't it? So I was at CEX the other day doing a bit of DVD and Blu-ray shopping when I come across this little anomaly here. Spider-Man, Once Upon a Time, the Superheroes. Now, my immediate assumption was this was some sort of bootleg Spider-Man 1, but CEX doesn't do bootlegs. They've got quite a strict anti-bootleg policy, but what is this? I recognize this artwork from the cover of some Spidey graphic novel or something, so what could this possibly be? There's no Marvel logo on it, just Prime and, well, Spider-Man Once Upon a Time, the Superheroes? Spider-Man Once Upon a Time, the Superheroes what? What did they do? Where do I know this cover from? See, this is like something out of the start of a creepypasta. It was only 50 pence. So, let's flip it over and everything, take a little look at the back. And as you can see here, you've got your old, DVD, Blu-ray jargon. Prepare to be amazed. These are the greatest stories ever told. As Spider-Man Mania casts a silky web across the globe, you have a chance to uncover the real story behind the legendary Marvel comics for the first time ever. In this landmark program on the phenomenal comic book publishers, Spider-Man, Batman, and countless other Marvel comic superheroes will take you on the most fantastical ride you could possibly imagine. Yep, Batman has always been my favorite Marvel superhero. Accept no imitations. Well, I think this is an imitation, so I'm going to accept it. And gasp in wonder as Spider-Man, no hyphen, so let's say Spider-Man. Once upon a time, the superhero... Hang on, is there a hyphen on the front? Yeah, there is. That's inconsistent. As Spider-Man, Once upon a time, the superheroes, brings this extraordinary collection of American superheroes together for the first time. Titanic struggles of good versus evil are brought back to life with the aid of a treasure trove of never-before-seen extracts from comic strips, feature films, and cartoons, plus fascinating interviews with screenwriters, comic strip artists, film producers, and directors. So are these just bonus features then? I mean, it sounds good. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a big comic book documentary program on here, if that's the case. In which case, this might actually be a better purchase than I'm giving it credit for. Spider-Man, like other legendary Marvel characters, was given flesh and bones by the imaginations of millions of children across the globe. So, yeah, that confirms the whole Ditko and Lee thing. No, it was children that made Spider-Man, and has now been immortalized on celluloid by Hollywood. This is their story. Special features. Superheroes program. Yeah, is that not what this whole thing is? Oh man, I don't know if you can see that, but the running time... That's nearly 3 hours, Jesus Christ, and, ILC Prime, exempt from certification, not a Marvel logo in sight. This is creepypasta material. This is reminding me of that, creepypasta Spider-Man film that I did a video on in Halloween time, The Forgotten Spider-Man, but this is Spider-Man, Once Upon a Time, the Superheroes. Yeah, Once Upon a Time, the Superheroes. Well, let's crack this baby open and get it in my PlayStation, and the disc is not bad. You'll have to forgive the camera work, because I have to hold this thing up to my eye in order to see anything, because the LCD screen on this is broken. So, we're going to try and aim this in there. There we go. You're in. Right. Where's my controller? Here it is. The camera is my eyes right now. So it all looks normal so far. You got your warning at the beginning, no piracy. Piracy very bad. Even though I suspect this DVD is far from official, but then again, they got not a bad little logo, and there must be a London-based company. So, British production. Yo, are you hearing this music? It just makes you want to headbang, doesn't it? Sorry, I probably just made you guys sick now, haven't I? So the bonus features thing on the back really undersold this. Look, you got the Marvel Comics theme park, three-dimensional characters, the supervillains, action versus violence, talking while fighting, the censors, the covers, Jack Kirby, X-Men, movie characters, the King of Comics Jack Kirby, drawing superheroes. Go back to the main menu. Oh, I love this music. Scene index. This looks really good. You got your backgrounds, Superman, critics and new heroes, Spider-Man, Villains, superheroes, artwork, merchandise, end credits, main menu. This is looking, but like, what's the actual feature quality like? Let's take a look. See, this is kind of what I was expecting. It's kind of a strange little. Oh, okay, it's not bad. I'm intrigued. You've got your Twin Towers, and obviously this is quite an old production here. Once Upon a Time. Is it going to say the superheroes? No, just Once Upon a Time. Maybe that was the original title and they had to put Once Upon a Time the superheroes, so not to confuse someone.
The hero is obviously in the word super. So I think there's a huge element of wish fulfillment, of a kind of a magical, dreamlike aspect to superheroes. You know, what would we do if we could move mountains? What would we do if we could fly? You know, things that relate to the kind of fantasies that I guess people have had for a long time. You know, maybe even related to you know, the way the Greeks and earlier civilizations would talk about the gods. You know, people who had human form but were in every way you know, superior to human being.
Is there no one on this planet to even challenge me?
Superman.
So this right here is Alex Ross, one of the finest comic book illustrators of all time. He can really make things look real, really bring them to life. I'll have to do a video about him at some point.
The American comic book. Since their first appearance in the late 30s, these flimsy colored magazines have provided the stage for the hero's adventures and have adapted to fit all the various phases as the genre developed. Each character is a print star linked to a specific publisher, just as a screen star used to be under contract with a specific major studio in Hollywood's golden age. The most powerful firms remain the renowned DC Comics and Marvel Comics, but each publisher has its own personality and its own heroes.
Yo, so this here is Joe Quesada. He's kind of known for ending the marriage of Spider-Man and Mary Jane, but he was quite a Marvel Comics legend. Other than that, I guess. I know the opinion of him isn't the highest among Spider-Man fans for that reason, though. But then again, is Dan Slott really much better? It's got a lot on sort of the history of superhero cinema as well. I'm guessing this is the Captain Marvel TV show? Yep, there we go.
All these American comic books.
And now this was Captain Marvel back when Captain Marvel was Shazam, as many of you will know. And yeah, he was one of the first superheroes to make it to screen, believe it or not. Neil Adams is one of my favorite Batman artists as well. He's absolutely terrific. Neil Adams was actually the creator of Ra's al Ghul, and when asked if it's pronounced Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul is always how he intended it, but he doesn't mind either way.
Very interesting background.
Here he is, the legend himself.
Also, I lived in New York, so it was very easy for me to be authentic. I could mention what neighborhood something was taking place in, and I knew this was true because I knew the neighborhoods.
What Stan did was, and Stan's and all Stan's compatriots, is that they looked outside their windows and they all lived in New York. And what better scenery do you need than this? You know, if you're gonna have Spider-Man swinging off buildings, well, you got plenty in New York.
If you, in your mind, transform building into the natural environment, it would be canyons and valleys. So the feeling of being closed in at the street level.
Imagine Spider-Man in a canyon or a valley instead of New York. That could be interesting.
Fly above the confines of the city out into the open sky.
If you don't do Spider-Man in a position where nobody else can be.
Right, so I'm not going to give away much more than that. You guys can hunt this documentary down. I believe you can find it on YouTube as well in parts, but there is a lot packed onto this disc, including the bonus footage. The main feature is like 3 hours long, and then you've got your bonus footage and everything, and there's lots to pick from. Well, I gotta say, I am very impressed with you. This is... If you see this DVD in like a secondhand DVD store or a boot sale or something, pick it up, because, like, there's loads for comic book fans on there, and loads to discover, like... That wasn't a creepypasta at all. I'm glad I bought that. 50 pence for that? That's great. That's more than you're going to find on Channel Pup in terms of comic book history, that's for sure. So yeah, it turns out you can get it on Amazon. I got it a lot cheaper from CEX, but it's going to be a rare find at any kind of secondhand thing like CEX, because I don't think anyone's ever owned this before. It wasn't something I had ever heard of until I picked it up, and I was just so curious about it. But really, great purchase. 50p well spent. I will say it is pretty obvious what kind of shtick they're trying to pull with this cover here. It says here that it's like, you know, the height of Spider-Man mania across the globe, and the publishing date, as you can see here, is 2002. So, this will have been around the time that Spider-Man 1 came out. So what they will have done is, whoop, there you go, see, it now just says Spider-Man. So, oh, Granny's out at the shops, you know, you want the new Spider-Man movie, she picks this up thinking this is it, and then, you know, what you actually get is easy publicity for these guys' documentary. It's clickbait. This is like a very early form of clickbait. Like many of my videos seem to be, apparently, according to comment sections anyway, but, okay, that's clickbait that's worth clicking on, though, to be fair. I'm glad I picked this up. I wasn't fooled. I already own the Spider-Man trilogy, and I've already got the 2 John Watts movies and Into the Spider-Verse. I've got every Spider-Man film that's worth getting. So, like, this was just an addition to the collection, really. I was expecting some awful kind of 1970s knockoff, or maybe something like a fan film or something, which would have been great in its own right, but I wasn't expecting us to get such a great little product here. And 50p, you can certainly do worse. So if you find this, be on the lookout. Go to CEX, go to your car boot sales and stuff, and check this out. But if not, I think you can find it all online anyway. Just look up Once Upon a Time the Superheroes. In the actual film, it's not called Spider-Man Once Upon a Time the Superheroes, it's just called Once Upon a Time the Superheroes. So, yeah, you know kind of what to look out for. Well, guys, that's it for today's video, but what do you guys think? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below is the link to my Patreon and my Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.